He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game. You're tripping. How you high? No, it is Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
Fuck.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 234. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I am your other co-host, Alan Dennis.
I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
I'm your other co-host, Junebug Spade.
And I am your last co-host, G Money. Just a testament that if you keep on watching the show and talking, you'll end up on the show.
Hey, look at that.
You have to have good takes, though. Some of these people that comment on some of our TikToks and stuff, I don't care how long they watch the show. They ain't getting on.
Yeah. I agree, 1000%. Gentlemen, excuse me. We're gonna start off the show the way that we normally do, which is, of course, with a cheers. So if you've got it, raise it on high. Is that a beer shot glass? That looked like a pint glass.
Double shot glass. That's you got that from Aria, right?
How I Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Tequila always hits different.
Always hits the best in IMO. Gentlemen, another week where we're back at it. We are past the Masters mark, almost at the draft mark. This year is whipping by, but hey, we've got NBA playoffs starting this weekend, playing going on right now as we speak. We've got Chicago and Miami playing, and then afterwards,
Champions League.
Champions League. Another good. It's a good time, very good time in sports right now, and it's like fourth quarter time though, because once NBA is done, then we're in that summertime. So we are going to start off today's show though with some playoff predictions. So although the bottom of the conferences are not set yet with the 8 seeds, I don't think it's too ridiculous to overlook the 8 seeds. And if we're just looking at the top 7 other teams and who's going to advance to the second round, something tells me none of us here think that the 8 seeds are going to be doing anything anyway. So yeah, I figured it's safe to go ahead and give predictions on who's going to advance to the second round. Do you guys want to start in the East or the West?
In the West.
Start out West. Okay. I'm going to say we just kind of we're going to just overlook whoever the Thunder end up playing because, I mean, come on. Let's get serious here. However, last night, Golden State was able to get a dub, and they were able to claim their spot. So they will be matched up against Houston in the first round. With that being said, who do you guys think is advancing to the second round through this series? G-Money, I'm going to start with you here.
I'm going Golden State. The last time they played Houston, which was a week or so ago, Steph Curry was horrendous. He was 1 for 10 from three-point line. Basically, he couldn't piss in the ocean and hit it if he was knee-deep in it. That's how bad. And Jimmy Butler didn't play. And not totally sold on Houston. The team itself is young. I think Golden State takes them. I think 6 games. Golden State in 6 is what I think. Now, me saying that will probably end up being Houston in 7, but I still think Golden State. I think playoff Jimmy and Steph remembering where the 3-point line is and how to actually hit them.
June, who do you think is winning this one, and how many games?
Yeah, I'm taking the Warriors. I got the Warriors. I thought the same thing. I even got it on my little sticky. See, I've been putting them down. So on my sticky, I got the Warriors taking this series. Man, I'll take experience over youth in time. And right now, you can't name me. You probably can. But we're gonna talk to the audience. You can't name me the best player on Houston. The guy who, if they got to turn to a shot maker in the last 2 minutes of the game, who's that guy in Houston? Yeah. Okay? You can't name that guy. But I can name him with Golden State. I can name 2 of them with Golden State. Okay? So I'm going to take the experienced coach in the playoffs over the youth. Give me the Warriors. In 6 games. I agree with that with you, Money. I'm thinking 6 games too.
Mainland.
Yeah. That's my mom. Can we hear the background?
Laughing at our picks. Laughing at our picks. Shaking her head.
She's on the phone, isn't she?
She's on the phone right now with the GM of the Rockets.
I'm going with the Warriors in 7. I think Houston is they've earned the right to be, to think that they can go, get Warriors to the brink. They keep winning games when you think they're going to lose. But I think there's going to be some games in there where we think that Golden State is going to put the hammer down and get up to a commanding lead in the series, and all of a sudden Houston's going to win 1 or 2. And I think we're going to have a point in this series where the talking heads of sports are going to be saying, can Houston beat the Warriors? Like, I think there's going to be a part in the series where it could be like, yeah, Rockets could win this. But I think Golden State, at the end of the day, just the pedigree they have, the talent they have, like June said, no one on the Rockets can match with Steph and Butler in the fourth quarter. If you need a big shot, I think that's going to be a difference. So I'm going to take the Warriors in 7.
Yeah, I am with June and G Money on this one. I'm thinking Golden State in 6. I think that last night's game, like the Warriors, of course they wanted to win regardless, but I think there was a real sense of urgency for them to handle their business against Memphis, because if they had to be forced into the 8 spot, nobody stands a chance against OKC in the first round. And I think they were very aware, like, if we fall to 8, that's a death sentence. If we can get this 7 spot, there's a very good chance we're moving on to the second round of the playoffs. Because I don't believe in Houston, and it doesn't seem like most people are giving them too much. I mean, people are giving them a shot, but not to beat an experienced team like Golden State. So I'm taking the Warriors in 6. And like you guys were saying, there's just too much youth on their roster. There's some promise, but there's just really no like real bona fide like scorers like that. Like, Jalen Green is very good, but outside of him, there's nobody else that you're really scared of. Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah, I think 2 things in favor, mainly for the Rockets, is how good they are defensively. I think they've held the Warriors down to under 100 points or something like that. So that, and the fact that they're young and they could possibly force some turnovers. The problem I see is that I don't think their coach has an answer for the experience and leadership that both Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler have in the playoffs. I think it's gonna be a whole different animal, and I don't think him as a coach, he has any answer for that, and neither do those kids. So, props to them for getting there. They're developing a good squad, but I don't think it's gonna be enough against the Warriors.
Yeah. Let's move on to who we got. All right, Lakers and T-Wolves would be the next series here. This should be I will say, pretty much all of these first round matchups are very good. This is one of the better first rounds that I can remember in the past several years. But yeah, Lakers and T-Wolves, G Money.
I'm going Lakers, and I'm going Lakers in 5. I just, aside from Ant-Man, Gobert is more a defensive center than he is a scorer. I don't know who else you have on Minnesota that's going to be that second scorer. You already know with the Lakers, you've got 2 scorers. And you've actually got 3, because you've got LeBron, you've got, what's his name? Come on, guys, help me out. Luka, thank you. I don't know why I just spaced on him, because I was thinking AR-15 as your third scorer. So I just don't see, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers swept them. I just don't see Minnesota being the team that it probably should have been.
June.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lakers, and I'm taking them in the sweep. I like the sweep in this situation. I think Minnesota, they've lost a little bit of leadership when they lost Karl Anthony Towns. I think he was like a catalyst on their team. He was the leadership guy. And they're just going to have to get that back. And I think Ant-Man's a great player, but he just doesn't have that leadership ability yet. He makes some exciting plays. He's going to make some exciting dunks. He's going to make some exciting shots. But when it comes down to it, I think the Lakers, you had Luka, who took a team to the championship last year. And then the year before, I think LeBron took the Lakers to a championship. So you got guys on there with championship pedigrees under their belt, and I just don't think the Timberwolves possess that right now. So I'm gonna take the Lakers in the sweep.
Malin?
I mean, I got the Lakers winning, but I don't have them winning. Did you say a sweep, June?
I'm saying sweep, baby.
Hey.
Get the brooms out.
I don't know, man. I feel like LeBron James could flop and hurt himself for a game. I think that there's going to be so much expect. I don't know that they're going to sweep. I think the Lakers are going to win. I'll probably say it's hard though, man, because like Minnesota surprised us last year, even just by beating Denver. So it's hard to completely count them out. LA doesn't really have big man like Minnesota. I'm going to say LA in 6. Let's say LA in 6. I do think that the Lakers, even though they have the shooting talent, they better be on every night, because I don't see them getting a crap ton of rebounds against some of these big men that they're going to be playing out west. So I'm going to take Lakers in 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Lakers in 5. The T-Wolves, I think, are just big enough, and Ant-Man's good enough to get them one win. I would like to say 6, but the Lakers have just been so much more locked in since getting Luka. I think they're really gonna lock in now that they're in the postseason. That I just can't see how Minnesota would be able to trick them more than once. Yeah, unfortunately, Minnesota only goes as far as Ant-Man goes, and I think they have realized this year that maybe it was a mistake having Julius Randle over Cat. So, yeah, give me the Lakers in 5. Go ahead, Nestor.
I don't even think like what G Money or June said about the Lakers sweeping is that much of a stretch. I think Lakers in 5. The only thing I would say the Lakers would have to watch out for is the depth that Minnesota has on that team with Julius Randle and Conley. Other than that, I think they'll get it done. I think Ant-Man's going to be their biggest problem, and sometimes that depth showing up, but I think they'll be able to handle it. Just it's LeBron and Luka. So, yeah.
All right. Next game here, we've got the Nuggets and the Clippers, which is the last one here in the West. So, G Money, Nuggets or Clippers?
I'm going Clippers in 7. I've said on a previous show how Denver is wasting the Joker, and they are. I don't know if people realize this, but he is going to be the only center in NBA history to average a triple-double for the season. I mean, he would be my pick for MVP, but he's not going to get it. SGA will.
Which is wild.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, for Denver to actually win the series, Westbrook has to be Westbrook that he was the first 30 games. Jamal Murray has to come back from Canada and actually play. And you got to be a little bit lucky. Yeah. And I will not be surprised if Joker averages 30 points, 15 boards, and 10 assists for the series, and they still lose.
God, that's depressing. June.
I'm taking the Clippers and taking them in 6. I just think that because of the lack of coaching with Denver, I mean, they still got the same bench coaches, but I just don't know if they can lock these guys in for the playoffs. When you lose your head coach, and yeah, they got some pretty decent bench coaches, I just think it's a big deal. Those schemes, because you need somebody to draw up those schemes. You know, one thing great about Phil Jackson didn't coach the game to the last 2 minutes of the game if he needed it. Okay? And he always made that one play. And you need that head coach, that cerebral head coach, to make that play for you when the game is in crunch time. That last 5 minutes of the game, when it comes down to it, the coach has got to be the main person. And I don't know if their bench coaches, if their assistant coach has that in them because of the control that their coach had. He had such a lock-in on his team. He was the man calling all the shots. Everybody else was just there to run practices, but he was the one calling all the shots. So now somebody else has got to step that up in the playoffs. And like I said, I think just because of Denver, they've been playing, they still got a good team. They still got the Joker. That's the only way I'll say 6 games, because I really wanted to go sweep. But I'm going to say 6 games.
Malin, go ahead.
I mean, it's hard to not see logic on that. I mean, I look at the end of the season, and Denver just went in a tailspin playing 500 ball, even while Luka was still dropping triple doubles. And the Clippers finished, 9-1 out of their last 10, and they got 3 guys. They're averaging over 20 points a game for them. I think Kawhi Leonard coming back has been huge for them. Powell's been huge. And you know what? Hats off to James Harden. I'm calling him fat and pudgy for a long time. That dude played and started in 79 games. That's a lot, where other people are just taking random days off. He was committed to winning in a way that I hadn't seen him in a few years. and he's the only reason why the Clippers really are in the playoffs because Kawhi missed so much time. So I think the Clippers are going to win it in 6. I think that if Denver's front office hadn't done, their ownership didn't do the dumbass thing they did at the end of the season, even though the players would have been unhappy, I think I might have given the edge to Denver. They just kind of lost their. They don't have that voice right now. I don't think Luke is that guy to be the voice of a team. I think he's the best player on the team, but I don't think he's that leader that you would need in the midst of chaos when you lose your head coach. He'll still get his, Joker. He'll still get his, but he's not gonna be that. He's not gonna be that voice that can steady the ship through the playoffs without a head coach. I don't think.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing how Denver's gonna beat this team because the Clippers have been like one of the best teams in the entire NBA in the last like 2 months ish. So I'm gonna take the Clippers to win this thing in. Yeah, I would agree with 6 games. That seems about right, which is kind of crazy to say, especially when the Nuggets have an inside man in Russell Westbrook, who knows the ins and outs of the Los Angeles Clippers because he was just there last season. But all that intel is not going to do him any good, at least not coming from him. Yeah, I think a lot of these games are going to be really good and come down to the wire. And like June said, that's going to come down to coaching. And Ty Lue is a championship head coach who is going to literally run circles around. I don't even know what the interim coach of the Nuggets knows his name. So,
Isn't he a
assistant?
former French player? I'd have to look it up, but I could have sworn he played like for the French national team probably 15 or so years ago and coached in the Euro League.
Adelman?
I really wish that the seeding could play out to where the Lakers and the Clippers would play each other in the next round.
Yes.
I think it's highly unlikely with whoever's going to play the Thunder to get out of the second round. But, I mean, other than seeing Skip Bayless on social media, he would completely just blow a load if the Clippers and the Lakers played in the playoffs again. I think that'd be a really good, interesting season.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Nestor.
Yeah, I just think Denver's going to be overly dependent on Joker because Murray's just decided not to play this season. And it's just, give me Clippers in 6. You got Zubac, you got Leonard playing out of his mind, James Harden. They got all the momentum right now. And I don't think a assistant coach is ready for that.
Yeah, I don't think people, myself included, didn't realize how big of an impact Norman Powell makes on that team.
Oh, yeah.
And he missed a substantial period of time. But once he came back, it was like off to the races. And then Kawhi got healthy. They're in full form right now. So, all right, let's switch over to the East at this point. Again, we're going to skip what will probably end up being the Cavs and the Heat, I'm going to imagine here.
What? You don't think the Heat are going to beat the Cavs?
Scott game 1, man.
Yeah.
So let's go to the start of a slightly more entertaining series. We've got the Celtics and the Magic. The Magic last night won a game of maybe the sloppiest basketball I've seen all year, which was strange coming in April. That was just an entire circus. But anyway, who is winning this series? G-Money, we'll start with you.
Well, my first question to you and Malin, are you guys going to the playoff game when it goes down to Orlando?
Go to every game.
Well, I I don't
What
think they can
games are
afford to
they?
fly out for Boston and go. It doesn't make any difference. It's Boston in the playoffs, and you're not going to get a chance to see them again unless you fly up to Boston or fly somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any difference. Call in sick, have a hernia, you know, tell them that your wife and girlfriend are pregnant. I don't care, you know. I use that excuse all the time. People look at me, I'm like, oh yeah, like I couldn't.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Anyway, I like Boston, and I'm going to go Boston in 6. And the only reason I'm going to go 6 is because they tend to start a little bit slow in the playoffs, and Orlando plays really good defense. They can't score, but they play really good defense. And if we've seen anything from Boston this season, we've seen them lose games they should not lose at home. So I still have Boston winning, but I have them winning in 6. So I think Orlando will take 2 of those games. Probably take a game in Boston and probably take a game in Orlando.
June.
You know, we've been watching Boston all season. I know at the beginning of the season, I think some of us thought Boston would win 70 games this year. I know I had them at 70. I said that. I thought they would win 70 games this season. So I think that Boston is going to take the time right now to lock in. I think they're going to lock in when it comes to the playoffs, and I think they're going to come out to make a statement against Orlando, against the Orlando Magic, because we all know they struggled a couple of times against Orlando, and I think they want to make a statement against them. I think they want to say, hey, do not forget about us. Don't look at that shiny thing in the corner called the Cavaliers. You're going to see the real team. So I think Boston's going to lock in, and dare I say, it's going to be a Boston sweep. Boston is going to sweep this team.
I like
I
that.
think they're going to come locked in. I think Boston's going to come locked in because you know what? They've been playing, people have been talking about them this season. They've been hearing their name and not in a good light, and they want to get back, and they want to win another championship. They want to show people it's not a fluke. They won a championship last year. So I'm giving Boston that sweep.
I don't like your pick, dude. Nothing good comes when you and I pick each other's teams. What happened to Dallas when I picked them?
I know.
It's some bullshit. He's doing this on purpose, Jalen. He's doing this on purpose. Here's why I think Boston's going to win at 6. Now, I do believe last year, Jalen, didn't Boston go on a pretty crazy run in the beginning of the playoffs? And either sweep or go 5 games, the first 2 rounds. I think they won 8 out of 9 games in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Every year before that, everything was a game 7 because I guess, Boston wanted as much money as possible in ticket sales, so they kept telling them to lose. So here's what I'm going to go Boston in 6 on this. And it's really only because Boston plays Orlando quirky. They lose games that they should win. Jalen and I have both been there. They lose games that they should win down in Orlando. For some reason, they don't play well in Orlando. I don't understand it. If you look at their record over the last few years, they've either split or lost both games in Orlando the last 4 or 5 years. I don't think. And Boston, here's the crazy thing, is that Boston's been better on the road this year, but iffy at home. And so, could Orlando steal a game at home and then still want it? So I think it's going to go 6. I don't think that this series is going to be indicative of how, they would match up against Cleveland or something like that. But the ball bounces weird when we play Orlando. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense and it's aggravating. So.
Yeah, I am going to say Boston in 5. The only reason I'm not saying in 6 is because I don't know if my little pea-sized brain can take hearing ESPN get on the bandwagon again of how much trouble Boston is in for losing a couple of games that they should win in the playoffs. So I'm going to trust we'll lose one game in Orlando, of course, but hopefully they're on their business.
If Boston's down by halftime in a playoff game, like ESPN thinks we're gonna like get bounced out of the whole playoffs just because we're down at halftime. They love to hate Boston, man. I don't get it. It's the like Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers. It's the only thing that doesn't get East Coast bias.
Yeah.
Like if you're usually East Coast teams get a bias and they're like, oh, they're gonna win. But every time it's Lakers, Celtics, something like that, that's when all of a sudden they keep talking about that freaking West Coast. So I mean, they ain't no respect. More banners.
Go ahead, Mister.
Yeah, doesn't Boston have like one of the records for like most 3-pointers or something this season?
Yes, in a single season.
Yeah, so offensively they're gonna be there. I expect the Magic at home because they're good defensively to hold one of those games close, and then somehow Boston just doesn't entirely show up and they lose the game. I like Boston at 5. I just don't see that series stretching out. Like it's the experience and Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Like I don't think they're gonna let it go to 6 games. So yeah, Boston at 5.
All right, now go ahead and just take care of that, Celtics. I'm not trying to have them hang around. All right, next game we've got the Knicks and the Pistons.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
G Money, let's start with you.
Yeah.
I like the Pistons. As we've seen with the Knicks and with Thibodeau, he doesn't like using his bench, and he hasn't used his bench very much at all in the regular season. And his players show it. You look at them; they roll into the fourth quarter, and they're tired. And that's his problem. I mean, he's old school. I love that. If I were a Knicks fan and I was going to a Knicks game, I know who I'm seeing. I know I'm seeing the starters. Unfortunately, no other team is doing that, and it kills you in the playoffs. I'm taking Detroit. I'm taking Detroit in 5.
G Money laying the gauntlet down.
June, go ahead.
I'm scared to make my pick now. So I'm gonna stick with my pick. I'm gonna go with the Knicks. I think they're good enough to get out of the first round because I'm gonna go back to what we said about the Houston Rockets. Just a young team in Detroit, and the playoffs they haven't been in the playoffs in a while. So just a young team, and I think if this was next year, I would definitely go Detroit. But this year, I'm taking the Knicks in 7. Thibodeau has got to use his bench. He should have used the last 25 games of this season to get that bench ready to play playoff basketball, and he failed to do so. I think his team is good enough to get through this series, so I'm going to take the Knicks in 7.
Malin.
I mean, I don't really give a shit who wins this series. They're probably getting swept by Boston in the second round. Just because Orlando seems to give them fits. I don't see the Pistons or the Knicks giving Boston fits. Now I'm going to go New York in 7, just because I think the talent is there, and I think Thibodeau is just dumb enough to eke out every last bit of energy they have to win one series. Then they'll just play like dog shit the second time. But, I also, I want, selfishly, I want to see Austin, New York, in the Garden. I want to see them going back and forth from New York and Boston. I think that'd be just cool to see. Yeah, because those are two teams that predominantly haven't really. They've been like big marquee names in the NBA, but you've never really. I don't remember seeing them in the playoffs much.
Yeah.
Even in like the 80s, I can't think of a bunch of series in the 80s where they were playing each other a lot.
It was the Sixers. It was the Sixers in Boston.
The Sixers.
Yeah.
And then the Bulls. I mean, I just think it'd be cool to see. But Piston, like you said, I think the Pistons could be like, Oklahoma City a couple years ago, where hey, you're young, you're exciting, you made it. I'm not really expecting that much from you. Like you said, if it's a year later, maybe I'd pick them in 7. But I'm going to take the Knicks in 7. I just want to see the Celtics just beat the shit out of Thibodeau.
I'm going to take the Pistons in 7. This was the exact matchup that I called out, a couple of months ago, maybe, on this just being a bad matchup for the Knicks. I think that they are a kind of older team, and the Pistons obviously much younger, and they like to run. They're going to get up and down the court fast. Thibodeau's going to fall back on his usual of not wanting to get fresh legs out there and just letting the same dudes run up and down the court for 4 quarters in 7 games. You've got guys like OG Anunoby who are still out. It seems like he was out last playoffs when they played, I think the Pacers, and he was out the entire series. And it's like the same kind of thing where it's like when he's playing, he's usually a pretty good feature within their offense, but for whatever reason, just keeps missing the same time of the year. I don't believe in the Knicks outside of Brunson. Cat is very 50-50. The rest of those guys, listen, man, it's Villanova basketball is only going to get you but so far. So, give me the Pistons with an upset in 7 games. So, next.
Yeah, I take the Pistons. Maybe I'd say 7. They own the head-to-head matches in the regular season. I just think they're younger. Like you said, they're more fresh out there. They got the momentum. I don't think the Knicks are going to be ready. So, yeah, give me the Pistons in 7.
Why is it any all-star or any player that gets traded to the Knicks or signed with the Knicks that was like a great player before they went to the Knicks becomes mid as hell once they get there, unless you played for Villanova? They give you like half a good year, and then you're like, who the fuck is this person? Just in my mind, I was thinking Anthony, I was thinking Stoudemire, and these guys, they go to New York, man. And they perform.
Y'all remember? You know what Thibodeau's claim to fame is? Anybody?
Being a dick? I don't know what.
He's claimed that he was the coach. He was the coach that took over the Bulls after Phil Jackson left.
Yeah, how did that work out?
Exactly.
I mean, we didn't even know that, and I'm old as freaking dirt and didn't know that.
He took it over like a decade after Phil Jackson left.
No, I thought he took it over. Oh,
Jackson
no.
In 98. He took over in 2009 after he was the assistant.
No. It was the dude from Iowa State. That's who took it over.
So that was almost as bad as me saying Luka instead of Joker. That was wild. You missed the whole decade, Jim. Missed the whole decade.
I'm
Bulls fans missed the whole decade.
Long? That sounds...
Yeah. Bulls fans, oh man. Well, Bulls have had it rough.
Oh yeah, it was the dude from Iowa State. That's who took over. Not Thibodeau. It was the dude from Iowa State.
Yeah, that didn't work out well for them either.
Last.
Oh, and you know what? He overplayed. He's the one that overplayed Derrick Rose in
Right.
Chicago,
Yep.
and he ended up getting hurt in the playoffs. Like after because he played so many, like he was dog ass tired. All right, I know we got one more game. I know we got one more series left, but ain't
I
nobody.
will say this for the rest of my life: if Derrick Rose never got hurt, LeBron James never wins a championship in the East.
Oh Lord.
There's some white guy with a John Deere hat somewhere in Middle America that's really excited about the Bucks and Pacers, but that's about it.
G Money, tell us who is winning between the Bucks and the Pacers.
Indianapolis is.
Oh.
Plain and simple. Lillard, maybe he'll play. That blood clot seems to be getting better, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
And so then you've got Giannis, Brooks Lopez, whose best days were when he was at Stanford. After that, I mean, what? Tayshaun Prince? Dude, man, I mean, just, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you trade your bench and quality players to get someone and you don't have the depth. I mean, it makes no sense, really, to get another star if you've got no depth and if you can't play defense.
And
they have no depth.
You had no reason to get rid of your depth for someone
No.
like Lillard when you had Drew.
You did not. You're absolutely correct. You had no reason to do that. But we've seen teams do it, and what happens? I mean, and you fire your coach because obviously it's the coach's fault. I mean, it's just crazy. And we haven't even talked about Phoenix that's fired their fourth coach in 4 years.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's like it was his fault because he made the trades and everything. It's like, seems to me at times we have a bunch of Dan Snyders. But anyway, I'm taking Indy in 5. I think I said 6, but the more I look at it, I'm going to go Indy in 5.
Wow. June.
Yeah, I'm going with Indianapolis in this series. I'm not gonna go Wild Bill like Jude Money. So I'm gonna say Indy in 7 because I still think they're kind of young, and they'll drop a couple of games. They're gonna drop a few games here or there. Giannis is good enough to win some games by himself against this team, but if they don't have Damian Lillard and he's not going to play this series, I don't see how they pull the series out. I don't think they'll have a chance in hell next series, but without Leonard, this series is now in jeopardy. So I'm going to go to Bucks. I'm going to go Indianapolis in 7 games.
Malin.
I totally forgot that Dallas was in the play-in here. And somehow Anthony Davis is wearing 2 different shoes. Wild. Looks like he's wearing a goddamn Nintendo Switch on his fucking feet. Anyway. Now, I really was hoping that the seeding was going to end up with Pistons, Pacers. Because then I think you should have gone back to Detroit. And at halftime, have Meta World Peace and Ben Wallace fight each other. I think that would have been awesome. Just have the Miles playoff style. That would have been funny. And was it not the Bucks and Phoenix in the finals several years ago? Is that the one that Devin Booker was that it?
Yep.
Those 2 teams. What the fuck happened to Giannis and Devin Booker after them finals? I forget that they're in the NBA sometimes, and that's wild because no one talks about them anymore.
No.
Devin Booker has gone through so many other stars and head coaches, and like you said, like Giannis, the only continuity he has on his team is his brothers. I think everybody else is gone. So I don't know. the Bucks. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Pacers. I think they're like a Houston to me. They just keep winning games, and you're like, how do they keep winning games? But they keep winning games.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna win it. I'm gonna go ahead and say 6, because that just seems like the respectful thing to do for someone like Giannis. But I think it's gonna be 6 games.
Yeah, I'm agreeing 100%. 6 Pacers and 6. Without Dame, I just don't see how the Bucks get this thing done. And I think this, if this is true, I'm pretty sure this will be the 3rd consecutive first round exit for the Bucks, which will be Heat, Pacers last year, and Pacers again this year. Yeah, if that happens, I mean, geez, it's gonna be really, really, really bad for their franchise. This series as a whole, though, is just like, I mean, there might be a couple entertaining games, but come on, this is Battle of the Midwest. Who really anybody
And
trying
then
to watch
the
this?
second round, who the hell is gonna want to watch Cleveland and Indiana?
Ugh.
Oh, I will. I mean, come on now, Cleveland, Indiana.
We'll watch it. They'll be on.
That's classic basketball. I mean,
It is
damn.
classic.
Evan Mobley. Yeah, come on.
Go back to a time of short shorts and high socks.
That's
Catch
right.
a game at Rocco's Taco.
Right.
Dude, not
You're
going
gonna
into
trade
the
that
game.
John Deere hat for like a power tool hat or
From
something.
4D
Like,
game.
this is
Go ahead, Nestor.
Oh, so yeah, give me the Pacers. I just don't. Without Damian Lillard, maybe that team loses a bit of subconsciously. It loses a little bit of motivation there. Pacers are gonna be. I don't like the Pacers, honestly. I don't really like them at all. But against this Bucks team, I could see them taking it maybe 6 or 7. So I don't like Halliburton, whatever his name is. I don't really like him. I don't like that squad. I just think they're overrated, honestly. But
Kerr don't like Halliburton either, or Tatum.
yeah, Pacers, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, you have to take one of them.
You have to take one. Unfortunately. All right. Let's move out of the playoff predictions here. Let's get into the news for the week. We're going to start off on a kind of a somber note here. Kyron Lacey, who was a wide receiver for the LSU Tigers, was found dead at just the age of 24, which is just wild. But dead via apparent suicide. He did have like some sort of a court case that was in the works for a fatal car accident that he was involved in. But gone now. Any comments?
Yeah. It's kind of sad. I mean, that court case was he killed a 78-year-old man. You know, he was racing another car, killed the guy, 78 years old. The man's gone. It's already bad. And then I don't know if you guys read what happened. What led up to him killing himself. Well, he was arguing with a family member in a front yard in Houston. And I guess he pulled out a gun. He shot into the ground twice. He jumped in the car, took off down the street. He crashes the car into a pole. And then he just takes the gun out and kills himself. The police came, he was already dead. There was no standoff, there was no nothing. When they got to the car, the kid was already dead. There was some demons this kid had inside of him. And I keep saying, you got to surround yourself with people that's going to help you. And I understand, hey, he had the wreck. He killed the old man. That happened. It was a fatal accident. But it seemed like he just went downhill after that. It seemed like his whole life just took a downturn. And whatever happened with this argument with this family member, it just, I think it just all culminated that day till he realized it was over, that his life was over, and he just decided he didn't want to go through this, and it was over, and he just killed himself. And it's sad, and I hate to see it, I hate to hear it, and you're like, wow, what is happening? What is happening today when this happens? So I feel bad for his family and everybody that had to witness it. I feel bad for the older gentleman who was killed, in December because of his actions. But man, this is tragic.
It's tragic on all fronts, like you said, because someone lost their life because of his negligence, and I don't know what college teams are doing, but they need to be talking about Henry Ruggs and Jalen Carter in these types of situations that people put themselves in a lot more than what they are, because these guys are like, the only reason why you do something like what he did in that car that night that led to that man's death was because you feel invincible and you feel like you can't do no wrong. I mean, he was on his way to being a first-round wide receiver. LSU has started to kind of become known as like wide receiver U. He was going to be a first-round pick. He was in Mel Kiper's top 10 for wide receivers. And then that happens, and he flees the scene.
Yep.
And doesn't alert the authorities. Like, he makes mistake after mistake after mistake. And when you feel like you know that, hey, I'm gonna go to prison because of this, and I was gonna be a first round pick, and you feel like you ruined your life at 20 something years old, like that could put you in a pretty dark headspace. I still feel like colleges have a responsibility that even after that happens, like I not to say that LSU didn't try to help him after this happened. Like, I don't know what LSU did, what they didn't. But there needs to be like more support systems in place. It's tragic that, one, that accident transpired and he made the decisions he did. Two, it's really tragic that he felt like, when you take your own life, you do it because you feel like you have no other choice.
Yeah.
And for him, he'd killed a man. He was going to be a first-round wide receiver. Now he's shooting guns. He's speeding off in cars again. He wrecks a car again. He knows he's going to jail. And I mean, that's just really sad. It's unfortunate, and I hope that a lot of people pay a lot more attention to that. And if anything, I hope that this situation can help somebody else at that age not end up in that situation. Because they tell that story and get people to understand like how quickly your life can unravel when you think you're invincible and you're on top. You're really not. But the whole situation just sucks.
Yeah. Nestor, Jimani, unless you guys have something you want to add, we will move on.
No, it's just it is tragic overall, and I think even if there had been some type of intervention after the fact, after the accident in December, and people tried to help him, at 24, life is so much different, and you do tend to, you're going to be, if not a first round pick, a second round pick. You're going to play in the NFL. You're going to get a lot of money. And that's all. That's over. That's ended. And I don't know if trying to educate college players about this is going to change their behavior, because it's not like they're immune to social media or anything like that. I mean, they saw what happened to Ruggs. They saw what happened to Jalen Carter, and that's where you see the split, right? Ruggs, starting wide receiver for the Raiders, does 140, kills someone, he's going to prison. Jalen Carter helped Georgia win a national title, speeding. Person speeding with him gets killed. He's still a first-round pick. Still drafted in the top 10. He's playing NFL football. So, people tend to think, especially at that age, that, hey, the same thing should be, I should get that same treatment. Difference being, of course, maybe if he'd done that in Baton Rouge as opposed to doing it in Texas, maybe he might have gotten a little bit of a get out of jail free card. But kids don't think like that. 24, damn, you got the world by the balls, basically. And you're right. Nobody thinks that you are immortal until you're not.
Yeah.
And really, when we talk about really family is the one that should be doing something, because they're around you all the time. They see you. They know your mindset. They should be talking to you and trying to help you, even though they know you're going to go to prison. Help you when you go to prison. Say, look, your life is not over. It's not going to end there. You may. There's still going to be possibilities. You're still going to have a shot.
I don't know that anything like that happened, though, with his family, though, Garrett. I'm not to say that his family did this, but you think about it so many times that when you get a young person who they're the ones that are going to make it, and when he makes it to the NFL, it's not just him making it to the NFL, it's the whole family. And so then when the whole family said, oh, well, you're not going to be a first-round pick no more, were they beating up on him with the disappointment a little bit without necessarily realizing what they were doing versus being supportive? And all the people that said, "Oh, well, he shouldn't have committed suicide. He has so much to live for." Man, when you're in your low to mid 20s, if a girl breaks up with you, you think your life is over. Much less killing a man when you were supposed to be a first round draft pick. I mean, the emotions, everything is just so all or nothing at that stage in your life. So I mean, I could see how we ended up at that point. It's just really bad that it did.
His dad said something about urging parents to be there for their kids more, looking out for the warning signs and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely starts at the home.
Yeah, his mama put out a statement too.
Well, yeah, really unfortunate. Prayers to that family. Also prayers to the family of the gentleman that was killed in a car accident a few months ago. Just hate to see it. All right, moving on to a much lighter note. Rory McIlroy won the Masters over the weekend. Finally got the monkey off his back. June, happy day, my friend.
Ain't happy day. Couple of us called it. He almost got. Okay.
What the hell's happening?
He choked.
Let's say that again, June. We couldn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounded like an Apollo recording for a second.
I don't know. I don't know what's.
No,
you back on the moon.
Yeah, you're on the dark side of the moon, my friend.
I don't know what's happening.
Like Houston, we have a problem.
Why don't you log out and come back in June?
Try leaving, coming back.
Sung Ju In messing with his internet connection.
I'll just say that I was close with my dark horse.
You were.
But I was happy that Rory finally ended up doing it, even though he tried not to win it on the 18th.
He did briefly.
In true Rory fashion, I was like, "Come on, man!" Oh man, I would have loved to have known the thoughts that were going on in his head when he had to hit that bogey putt. Because I used to think that people wouldn't miss that putt until I think Dustin Johnson missed it at the U.S. Open a few years back. But good for Rory. I mean, he took enough shellacking being the PGA lackey and not being able to win, the Masters for so long to finally get it done. That was cool.
June, do you want to try again?
Nope. The Lord does not want you to talk about Rory. That's what's happening. The moment that you get to talk about the Masters,
man put his bet on Sunwoo Kim. Not enough for y'all talking about Rory.
Like, I know you're about to glow. No one wants to hear it.
Oh yeah, he's about to go all in.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because the 12th hole, Rory was up, and DeChambeau was fading. I'm like, you know what? Rory's got this. I'm going to go out for a walk.
What?
So I went out for a walk.
See.
Came back.
You need,
and they're talking about playoffs. And I'm like, what?
Ignore that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like what? Playoffs? I went, playoffs? Really? And then I thought, did DeChambeau actually make a run? And then they're talking to this Rory and Rose. I'm like, Rose? I don't know. What the hell happened? And it's because Rory...
conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, well, Rory had a bad 18th and the 17th wasn't good either. I'm like, oh, so the Masters got back into his head. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to bode well for Rory, right? He's going to play off. He's already got that whole playing in his head and everything. He's probably playing it over like again and again and again. And then he wins it. I'm like, good for you. Good for you that you're able to finally win the Masters. But I thought he was going to blow it. I thought, my God, once I came back and there was a playoff, I'm like, that's it. It's freaking done. Rory's going to lose it probably on the second hole, but he actually won it on the first hole.
Well, the fact that he bogeyed on 18, so that's like a big choke job, right? When you could have won it. And then they make you play the 18th again. They're like, oh, damn. Oh, you got to wipe away, all of that stuff in the back of your head. And golf is so mental. I can't imagine what it was like that walk back to the tee box. He crushed it. I mean, he crushed that playoff hole, man. That shot onto the green.
Yeah.
But the way it came back, I was like, damn. Like I thought Rose's shot was decent.
Right.
And I thought he had I was like, oh well. I mean, Rose is probably going to force another playoff here because I didn't think Rory was going to get that close to the pin. But yeah, it was definitely good. The DeChambeau decided to like water a lot on the back nine. That was unfortunate. He water twice, I think.
He was doing his Greg Louganis impression.
I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but.
And Rory's only the sixth person to ever win all four majors. So
yeah,
it's only happened 6 times.
I mean, kind of surprises me that Scheffler finished 4th, but my dark horse Patrick Reed finished 3rd.
Yeah,
I'm like, the hell? I was like, son of a bitch.
My dark horse was second the whole tournament, and then your dark horse finishes above mine. I was like, God damn. I was like, what the fuck? Wait, we lost June again, man. All right, we're going to have to move on.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
We can't keep talking golf. Ain't nobody going to end up watching the Ride or Die in 5 if golf.
My favorite part of the whole weekend, though, was June on Friday morning complaining that his employees were interrupting his Masters watching. I just imagining him in an office not working at all, just watching the TV, and people are like asking him questions, and he's like shooing them away.
Elon Musk is asking him to lists the 5 things he did that week, and he's like, "Watch the goddamn mask, you bitch," and I go away.
So that was my favorite part of the whole weekend. But hopefully June can come back in here from his Apollo mission.
Judge man just smited his internet and just.
That's it.
Nope. See, it was fine. So, you back, June?
You know?
Yes, faintly. You sound kind of.
There we go.
Cause
There
like,
we
you're
go.
talking about.
Nope.
I don't know what's going
Oh,
on with the
there
connection
you
right
go.
now. But anyway, saying that.
No.
Shot.
Listen,
Oh gosh.
this ain't working out,
Beautiful
June.
shot he made.
Ain't working out, June.
Saw it.
You're probably talking
Talk
about
about
the
the Knicks,
shot
see
over
what
the
happens.
tree.
We talk about the Masters. It was a beautiful shot, though. That was a beautiful shot.
See?
Talking about the one further down the trees.
That one too.
See?
That one too.
Perfect.
Talking about the shot on the playoffs.
It's
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, and yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
I don't think God's going to let you gloat about this win because every time you try to, it just.
Well, I started talking about the live. Hacking me now.
That's it exactly. They're like, oh. You're done, man. You're done.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, we need to move on to the last news story here, which is that Travis Hunter will apparently never play football again if a team does not allow him, whoever drafts him, doesn't allow him to play on both sides of the ball.
And first of all, shut up with that.
I mean,
Come on.
it sounds a bit, some exaggeration is probably in there, I will say. Pre-draft exaggeration, but what do you guys think of this one?
Look at Tennessee, boy.
Thought it was.
Uh,
I think it was about as foolish as Colorado apparently going to retire Shedeur Sanders' jersey number, or they even retire Cordell Stewart's jersey number. I think that's just kind of funny. But man, he gonna play. He's gonna be a top 5 pick. He's gonna make millions of dollars. It's neat to say it in the moment because you're gonna get more draft day coverage. You know what I mean, G Money? He's gonna get
Yep,
more
yep.
coverage on draft day. They're gonna talk about that for the whole 4 hours leading up to the draft. They're gonna be talking about what he said. So that was
Yep.
smart. But he's gonna play whatever the team tells him to play. Like these people thinking that, like I'm calling the shots. Like you haven't even played it down in the NFL. Like settle down.
I mean,
So,
he's going to land up playing he's going to be a starting wide receiver, and he'll probably end up playing like a slot corner. I could see him do that. I could see a team, they take him the top 5 and probably like number 3 to 5, having him as their number 1 and number 2 starting. He should be at number 2 starting wide receiver because he just doesn't have the speed, and that's why he's probably not going to be a starting corner because he doesn't quite have the speed, but he has all the instincts and everything to be a damn good slot corner. And you're not playing all the time as a slot corner, so I can see that. And let's be honest, his skanky girlfriend is not going to let him not play NFL, or she's not going to be around him.
yeah, and you know, and
Is she
we
going to the
can
moon
say
too?
this because we can be objective. Okay, he was good at corner and wide receiver in the Big 12, but he wasn't great at either position. He wasn't great at either position. You look at his numbers; he wasn't great. He was good to very good at times.
Right.
He had some good numbers on both sides of the ball, but he wasn't great. But in some of his offensive numbers, were kind of ballooned a little bit because I think of like 2 different games where they were playing like FCS level teams where he had like a few touchdowns or something like that. But he was good. I just don't know. I mean, I think if a team that I think would really benefit him going to Jim would be the Patriots. I gotta be honest with you. I think if you put him with Drake May and you got Polk out there, also like you got a young nucleus,
Right.
I think that would be a great spot for him. They could use a little bit of help on offense and defense. But I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time thinking that he's going to make like a Deion Sanders impact.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to get a lot of airtime because he's going to play both sides of the ball for a while. But I don't think he's going to be as electric as he was in college, and maybe that's mean of me to say, I don't know. But I think it's a lot harder to play both sides of the ball in the NFL than it is in college. I think everybody you're playing is that much better.
Well, and it is, and you've only had what? I mean, even Deion didn't play wide receiver all the time, and didn't play wide receiver the first 3 or 4 years.
Wide receiver until 95 or 96.
And
Cowboys.
if you want to go, yeah, I mean, if you want to go further back, you look at Darrell Green, who played DB for the Redskins, and played wide receiver at times, and he played for the Cardinals as well, if I'm not mistaken, when they were in St. Louis. That man had speed. He was like 4'3", 4'2", and Travis unfortunately doesn't have that speed. And Deion had speed. So, and they were both All-American corners. And he, you know, I mean, as you said, Mayon, he had some good games, but when you looked at the overall performance, it was like, yeah, he's good. He's not great. He's not someone you look at and go, this guy's great. This guy is, but he will be a really good number 2, and he will be a really good slot corner.
I don't think, like, we always think Heisman winners are going to be great in the NFL, but was Sam Bradford great? Vince Young great? Matt Leinart great? Were all these people? Johnny Manziel, was he great? Kyler Murray, he's mid and he only plays one position. Reggie Bush was thought of as this generational talent coming out of USC, and he was like a gimmick guy at best in the NFL. Well, now, I mean, he also went to the Saints, and Sean Payton didn't want him. But if he goes to the Patriots, you want to know what he will be? He'll be a better version of Troy Brown. He can play both sides of the ball. He can do whatever you want him to do. He's going to put up better stats. But I think he could be a really solid and a really good NFL player. I just don't see him being like one of those all-pro types.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Because anybody that gets drafted in the NFL, I hope you do great. I hope you become an all-pro. I hope you go to the Hall of Fame. Because you've achieved something that less than 1% of the people in the nation can do. I just don't see it happening. He could be a much better Troy Brown. How do you like that, Jalen?
I am completely fine with that. if that ends up being the case, I am more than happy with that.
Disney Cruise Lines, though.
All right, we need to get to the Ride or Die 5. Before we do hit that, though, I know we didn't have halftime this week, but I figured we could still take a quick intermission to cheers to, in this case, the Ride or Die 5. So.
Shot.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Everyone heard that?
5.
Skedaddled.
Yeah, June said I'm out.
June's got
Peace out,
that.
guys.
He's going to the moon with those women. He's got that same connection.
Oh, you drinking tequila?
Yes, sir.
God damn. Whatever. I almost did tequila tonight, but
Missed opportunity.
I was doing Jameson in honor of Rory because I don't have any other Irish whiskey. I drank the rest of my red dress way before then, and I'm also drinking wine.
I brought out the Johnny Walker Black in honor of Rory.
Well, see, I could have done the Johnny Walker Blue, but that I don't think Johnny Walker is Irish. I think it's a blend of Scottish.
Went to Robert's
I'd have to take a
Tacos.
look, but I don't think it's Irish.
And this guy was like, "Well, old fashioned." He's like, "Cool. Want whiskey or tequila?" Looked at my dad. I was like, "Yeah, this guy doesn't know the fuck he's talking about." Do not ask him for an old fashioned. He proceeded
What
to
tequila
say,
did you guys drink?
Espolone. It is the
"You put fucking Jack Daniels in there, fucking."
Here's some Jack.
Want a Manhattan? Whiskey or tequila? Margarita? Whiskey or tequila?
I'm a Bud Light.
Yeah, I
Whiskey or
thought
tequila.
about doing tequila, but I had already had a glass of whiskey earlier, and I was like, I'm not mixing whiskey and tequila when
That's
I gotta be
no.
G Money's mixing wine. Fucking
doing all
Jameson.
Yeah, you're gonna need a Motrin. Several.
June, you're doing all right over there.
Yeah.
not, 'cause we can't
God,
hear
me
it.
pick
What
Colin Morikawa.
I don't know what happened. Do you remember that episode?
We extra
This
man,
happened to me,
dude.
where all of a sudden my internet like quit on me.
June was like, full last sentence June said was like, "Let me tell you something about Rory McIlroy."
Done. Didn't hear another word from him.
Anytime he tried to gloat, I was like, no.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
he
called
was
in
being
the
the
backup.
system.
I did. He went to the phone. Remember, I had to go to the phone that one time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Crazy.
all right. I don't know why we're waiting on G Money. I don't know where he went, but go ahead and gloat for a second there until God breaks your phone.
I know, right? No, I was saying earlier, it was a great game. It was a great match, and Rory, he gave it up. But let me tell you something. He kept his composure, and that was just that shot on 18 was just that in the playoff round. That was just a beautiful shot to get up onto the tee box, to get to the cup, and I was like, wow, that was impressive. I think Justin just got a little intimidated after that shot, and his nerves took over.
Well, that was already going to be a hard putt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that he was going to two putt, and I thought Rory, when the ball first landed on the green, June,
Yeah.
I didn't see it rolling back that much. I thought they both would two putt and go to 17. But I honestly think that his shot, his approach on the playoff is going to go down as like him winning the Masters to me. This is just my generation talk, because I didn't get to see all these other people win it, like way back in the day. But I put it up there with, Nicholas winning in '86, Tiger winning in 2008. Some of these more iconic finishes where you didn't think it was going to happen, and you had a lot of drama because it wasn't supposed to take Rory 17 years to win the Masters.
No, it was not.
I'm going.
He's like in and out, in and out.
Not in the way that he would like either.
What the hell's going on, man?
It's Doge.
What the
Doge
hell?
freaking turned off his internet.
His electricity went out.
Yeah, I come for your ass, dude.
I was like, nope.
Oh, hey guys. Next Friday, Boston at Orlando.
That happened to me in Columbia.
I bet.
Yeah, I won't be able to go to that one. I might be able to go to the Sunday one.
Please go.
Boo, man.
Oh boy.
Might be able to do.
I'm going to be
Sunday,
the
but I
only
can't-
shot because after that, they're probably going to end up playing Cleveland.
Yeah.
And
Jalen
you don't
and
want to go
Esther,
to. Nope.
we should talk
Nobody
about
wants to go to
maybe-
Cleveland.
I can't do Friday though.
We'll
What are you guys
talk.
talking about?
Friday's out of-
Let's we gotta finish the show.
You're like, what the-
We gotta finish the show first. It's a long intermission. All right, let's get to the Ride or Die in 5.
Did June just walk out his entire goddamn house in the dark and end up back where he was?
Just give us a tour. In the dark.
Yeah, I was trying to get my stand.
Oh, okay.
All right,
That's wild.
we're doing all first round or game 1 picks for the Ride or Die in 5. Last week we all had a heater. Listen, folks, if you were riding with us for Masters Week, you won some money. June and myself went 5-0. Malin and G Money went 4-1. Nestor went 3-2. We all won money. So,
Any damn camera around June.
what's happening?
Imagine was taking the spotlight here.
For
Gonna show something
good
on the
reason.
web.
June.
Because I went 3 and 2.
We don't need to see your OnlyFans thing.
Only
You know?
He's his OnlyFans
OnlyFans?
settings.
It was pointing at your Discord thing, Gary.
privacy settings.
All right. We got to get this done.
Let's go. Game 1 of the Milwaukee and the Indianapolis. G Money, go ahead and start us off here.
I was 5.
Let me real quick. I like Indianapolis.
Shoot.
If I like them to win this series, I sure as hell like them to win the game. Give me Indy.
I am also going to take Indy here at home, game 1. Yep. Malin.
Yeah, give me Indy. All the reasons we talked about earlier.
Nestor.
Yep, give me Indy.
June, question mark?
Taking Indy.
Okay. Like it so far. Clippers at Nuggets. Game 1, Saturday at 3:30. I will go first here. Yeah, if I thinking the Clippers are going to win this series, I think they got to start off strong. If I'm picking them to win in 6, yeah, they've got to steal a game on the road. Why not the first one? They're on fire right now. Give me the Clippers. Go ahead, Malin.
I think with everything we talked about at the beginning of the show, if we picked a team to win that series, you kind of got to start off with winning game 1. You know what I mean? I know Denver's going to whip themselves up in a frenzy because the only thing you can do in Colorado is like smoke weed and watch, the Nuggets right now. So unless you like nature, unless you like going and looking at a bunch of rocks, that's all you got to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Clippers.
You can take a tour of the Coors factory because I do believe that the Coors factory is near Denver.
I'd rather take a tour of the Denver airport and see what the fuck they hiding. That Illuminati shit. Okay, we're never gonna finish this episode.
Nestor.
Yeah, given everything, well, not everything, given the fact that Denver are playing at home, they're still like only slight favorites. It's a good indication that the Clippers are going to own this series. Give me the Clippers.
June.
Oh, yeah, give me the Clippers on this one. Yeah.
All right. Saturday nights, we've got the T-Wolves at the Lakers. Malin, we're starting with you.
Lakers. Again, can't talk all that shit about Minnesota and say they're going to win game 1
See a pattern here.
in LA.
Pattern is
I
starting to
could
develop.
pull a Nestor and do something stupid like that.
Pattern is starting to develop. We all gonna feel stupid when we go 1-4.
No.
Hey, no, we were saying that last week.
Right,
We
last week.
We ended up winning.
Because I changed
we
my.
were wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not changing my picks.
I do think it's funny how the one game you disagreed on was the Warriors and Clipper game.
And then went to overtime. Fucking ass.
Because Draymond Green blew a point blank layup.
Stupid motherfucker. Okay.
All right, Nestor.
Go ahead,
Wait,
Nestor.
he said
Oh, you just agreeing with the
Lakers,
Lakers?
yeah.
Okay. G
he
Money.
never actually said it, but based on what he was saying, that's what I said.
Okay, so you guys skip me for
Wait.
the
Wait.
Clippers Denver game. That was hurtful. But you know, I can survive that because I'm taking the Clippers and Minnesota Lakers. Yeah, I'm taking the Lakers.
We're unraveling.
I'm taking the Lakers. So I took the Clippers. I took both LA teams.
As if we all drank
LA
tequila.
wins.
God starts fucking with June's Wi-Fi, and the show just goes off the rails.
Which I just realized I skipped June was supposed to go next. I skipped to G Money. June, who are you picking here?
I gotta pick the Lakers. I picked them this week, so I gotta pick them now.
Well, good thing we're all in agreement here because so far
Yeah.
nothing is changing. Let's go to the next game here. I think we got Rory McIlroy picking first on this one at this rate. All right, Orlando at Boston, Sunday at 3:30. We are starting with Nestor.
Boston's gonna blow a game, definitely, but it's not gonna be game one. Yeah, give me Boston, game one.
June.
Definitely taking Boston game one.
G Money.
I took a shot of Jameson for Rory. I'm going to take a shot for Boston because they're going to take game one.
G Money is
That was a big ass shot. That was
animal.
a double shot too.
Yes.
Jeez.
A train that doesn't stop for anybody.
And then in 30 seconds, we're gonna see him sipping wine too, because that's what G Money does.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Vegas
agree.
shape.
Yeah, he's getting in Vegas shape. We were talking about that over the week. He's got to start walking 6 miles and drinking more.
Go ahead, Malin.
I'm taking Boston.
All right, last but not, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. Is anybody picking the Rockets in Game 1? Is anybody surprising us?
Jalen, did you pick in this last one? Did you pick Boston?
Yeah, I picked
I
Boston.
assumed you did, but you didn't say. I didn't know you said it. No, I'm not taking Houston.
No, not Houston.
Okay, we are all putting our money where our mouth is at right now. And
That's scary.
for 2 weeks in a row, well, almost 2 weeks in a row, besides that one game, we are all in agreement on all of our NBA picks again. Which was it was profitable for us last week. So I'm just saying.
We could all be really happy together or really pissed off together.
The point is we will all be together.
True. No one will gain any ground on anyone.
Right. The
And I would like to point out, because it's the end of the show here, that because Jalen didn't do the normal plus or minus on everybody. In fact, he forgot to add it all up in the rundown in case anyone else missed it. But I texted him about it. But Jalen is in the top seed at plus 67.
Yes.
And I believe I'm plus 60. So he's back in the top seed right now. But
the thing that
yeah.
That Rory pick did it.
I was very happy with
Esther.
that one.
Esther 3-2 last week. What the fuck were you thinking?
Anyway, what about the Masters, man? That was nice. Rory?
Didn't you pick Masakawa?
What do you guys think about Rory?
My favorite part of
Some
that.
offer named some young guy. That's what he did.
I'm never
Yeah.
fucking... Golden State losing to...
When Buddy Hield took that last
We
three to
never
try and
bet against Golden State.
to win to tie the game,
Ah.
he didn't even hit the net. He was so far off, didn't hit the rim. Someone left a comment on the highlights that said, "Almost, buddy."
Oh gosh.
It's pretty bad. Okay. We're going to get up out of here. Anything else you guys want to mention before we close this thing out?
Call it Morikawa. Shut the fuck up and play better golf.
Did anybody? Oh, I forgot. Did anybody's long shot make the cut?
Yes.
G Money.
Mine finished third.
He's finished
Yeah.
third. I think DeChambeau finished fifth or sixth.
Fifth.
Oh, okay.
DeChambeau finished fifth.
Yeah, so
Patrick Reed finished third.
Long shot.
And my
finished
favorite
30th.
finished fourth with Scheffler. And if I could have bundled, if this was horse racing, I could have bundled that and won some money, but I couldn't do that. Freaking Indian casino.
There
Wouldn't
was
allow
a
that shit.
point where
Bastards.
where Patrick Reed was close to the top, and I was like, if Rose and McIlroy fumble this bag, and somehow Patrick Reed ends up winning this thing, I would have lost my mind.
because I wasn't even thinking about.
I would have been one happy camper.
Wasn't even in like. I wasn't, and this is the crazy thing about betting golf though, is that like I bet a total of $30, and I had a shot at winning, either $1,000 or $400. And the fact that both of them were there. I mean, you in the middle of going into the bag 9, you still could have gone in. It was that game. That guy's name, Agog. Was that his name? It was at -10 at the time.
Oh yeah.
Agog, I think it was.
Oberg. It's actually Oberg.
Oberg.
That's how it's
And
pronounced. Oberg, yeah.
He was tied for the lead, and you could still get him for plus 2,000
Oh
at
god.
the time. So I went ahead and just threw in $20 on him just in case, because DeChambeau had already hit fucking water, and I was like, well, I'm not getting 1,000, but maybe I get 400. So that was wild. But then he ended up triple bogeying on 18. So that was pretty bad for him.
Yeah, I'm never betting on shit.
Are we doing next week the show? Are we doing that on Thursday on draft night as opposed to
Thursday,
Wednesday?
right?
See,
Yeah, we're just doing the draft.
which is a good for people at home. That's also an indicator for you. No show Wednesday, Thursday. But all right,
Are
Yeah,
we
the good
doing
news
shots
is-
for trades?
No.
The good news is Arsenal beat Real Madrid,
That's the trade,
eliminated
yeah.
Real Madrid, so we have to deal with their asses in the Champions League. Go Arsenal! Thank you, appreciate it.
Whenever we do shots for trades, like Jalen ends up forgetting the first round of the draft. So I don't. Jalen had to sleep in his car one night.
yeah, God, oh, God, that is not fun.
I think you had to take 7 shots.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's two years ago or something. I think that was 2 seasons ago.
That was rough.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that was 2 drafts ago, and no trades were happening like the first 10 picks. And so you and Shaq were drinking normally, and then all of a sudden these trades started going down, and you guys are like, God damn.
Oh no!
All right, we will bring this thing in for a landing here. Thank you all for watching, listening. If you want to follow us on social media, it is at AFR Sports. If you want to follow June specifically, his TikTok link is down in the description below. So if you're a Cowboys fan on TikTok, be sure to give June a follow. Listen, you guys need to come together in this dark time for the Dallas Cowboys. So
That's right.
there you go.
Cowboy fans, unite.
Y'all got the 5th best quarterback in the division, man. That's wild.
We'll talk to you all next week for the draft. See you Thursday. Peace out.
Peace.
Why is Dallas beating?